Okay, so in today's video, I'm going to be answering 5 questions as to what it is like being a corrections officer. Let's get started with question number 1. What is a normal day for a corrections officer? A normal day for a corrections officer is hopefully boring. You will clock in, you will make sure that everything from the previous shift is wrapped up, and get ready to start your shift. I started at 7 a.m. and I would make sure that the previous shift had their trays out, things like that for chow, so I could get ready to serve for lunch. So I'd make sure all the trays were in the kitchen ready to be washed. I'd make sure all of our state facility inmates was out of their cells getting ready to go out for their respective road crews or whatever kind of work that they, and I would make sure that we're ready to get our kitchen workers going for lunch, the hallways to be cleaned, and then I would start my rounds of rec, making sure that everyone was getting rotated out so that we would be ready for lunch. We kind of go on a schedule in a correction facility. We're going to revolve most things around meal times on day shift. So we had lunch and we had dinner. I would make sure I got this many cells out before lunch, and I would make sure that these individuals got pulled and got ready for court. I would do my feeding, and then I would, about an hour later, do a roundup on all that, see what anybody might need, and get ready for dinner. So we would make sure that a normal day for us ran smooth as could be. There's always going to be hiccups, which could be a medical emergency, a fight, or even having to pull someone off the floor to go on a transport because someone needs to be to a doctor's appointment or at a dental appointment or even in another county to go to court. So sometimes we would have to do those kind of things. So we would maneuver our schedules around that. But a normal day for a correctional officer is hopefully boring and just like the day before. Right. Here, the next question is, what is the most challenging part about being a corrections officer? The most challenging part is trying to maintain a normal, structured life for the inmates in your facility. You're going to have multiple different personalities in there. You're going to have people that disagree with one another. You're going to have people that epileptic, have seizures, whatever it might be, things that are going to break up your normal schedule that you are used to in your facility. So most challenging part is being able to turn it on and off at a drop of a dime. So what that means is you're going to have a boring day. It's going to be going normal, typical, booking people in, watching cameras, just going up and down the floor doing cell checks, and then you're going to have a fight or a medical emergency. So you're going to have to jump into that mode and get that dealt with, wrap it up as quick as possible, make sure that that individual is taken care of, make sure that their mental state is good, making sure that everything is right with them, and then you're going to have to get everything back into the flow of bringing it right back down, and you're going to have to go about your day as if those things never happened, because people 3-4 doors down don't know that it happened, and that's the way you want to keep it. So the most challenging part for being a correctional officer is maintaining a professional standard and being able to turn it on and to turn it off as fast as possible. The third thing, what is life like on the inside? Life on the inside is going to be very structured. It's also going to be very chaotic at the same time. You're always going to have some sort of disruption, someone kicking doors, and generally it's a cry for attention or they need something. Maintain your professional level on that. You're going to have 300 people who are all going to want something from you within a 12-hour shift that you are working or whatever you might work in your facility. So you're going to have many different things that you're going to have to do for those people because they are trapped on the inside. You are the only source that they have on the outside of that cell to bring them things, to get them things that they need to survive on a day-to-day basis. So life on the inside is going to be very structured. You're going to have to say no a lot, but you're also going to have to say yes a lot as well. But don't say yes on anything that you are not willing or able to do. So, life on the inside is very different than you're going to experience in the real world. You're going to come home and just the normal wants and needs from your family is going to sometimes stress you out because you just had 300 needy people who all wanted something from you today. And now it's time to drop that and come back to real life. Let's see what the fourth question is. What are the most important skills for being a corrections officer? There's many important skills to being a corrections officer. I'm going to go through a couple. I'd say one of the most important is being physically fit. You have to be able to protect the person next to you, protect an inmate, or protect yourself at times when you're dealing with life or death situations, because they will and can occur in a corrections facility. So making sure you are physically fit, making sure you're mentally fit as well is a very big one. Make sure you take care of yourself, doing things that you like and enjoy to do. So making sure that you are taking care of yourself is a very big thing. But the most important skill, I would say, for a corrections officer is being able to communicate with individuals who do not share the same mindset you have, or sometimes do but are outraged. You're going to have to be able to take an irate person and bring them back down to this level to be able to communicate with them and resolve this situation with the least amount of force possible. So being able to communicate with someone on a verbal level is going to be the most important skill that you will have to develop as a corrections officer. You'll come in and some people it comes kind of natural, but is going to take a lot of work to be able to successfully complete that task. The last question on the list is, what do you tell people who are interested in working in corrections? If you are interested in working in corrections, make sure that you know why you want to work in corrections. There's multiple different reasons. For me, I wanted to use corrections as a stepping stone to get to the streets and work as a police officer. And doing that, I knew that I would have to maintain a professional level, develop skills, do as much training as possible, and to be able to communicate with the individuals within the facility. So them were some of the, I would say, most important reasons to me, because I knew I was going to develop some skills that was going to be useful within the correctional facility, but would also translate to the outside as well. If you're wanting to make a career in corrections, then them same skills are going to need to be developed for you. So make sure you know why you want to do the job, and make sure that you are capable of doing the job. It is very tough being a corrections officer. Mentally challenging can be. It's one of the most mentally challenging jobs I've ever worked, and also one of the most rewarding jobs I ever worked. So during my time there, I did a lot of training, and I made sure that I had family time as well. But that's going to be the biggest challenge you're going to have to face as a corrections officer, because there's going to be days off where you have to train, and there's going to be times you're asked to stay over, and there's not really going to be a choice for you to stay over. So make sure that you are able to invest in your career as a corrections officer, even if it's something you want to do temporary career. And you're also going to have to make sure that you are on an understanding basis with your family as to what you are doing, because it is going to be challenging on you. It is going to be very taxing on them as well. So make sure that you are fit for the job. If you are wanting to be a corrections officer, make sure you take care of yourself, your family, and you have to include the job in that as well. So those are 5 questions for a correctional officer. I hope that I answered them to your satisfaction. I answered them to the best of my ability, at least. If you guys have anything you would like to add, put them in the comments below. I'd love to read them. I'm always growing as an officer, and I would love to learn more.